you so much for
tell the
joining
story
me.
now.
Okay, so yesterday, I don't know what got into me. Whenever I'm around Breckin, I get this like crazy quirk, like actually,
Yeah. It's supposed to.
Les and Nikki totally get what I'm talking about because I go, "Are you ready?" And she was like,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. When you preface it with that, I'm a little nervous.
So when she said that, I go, "Oh, I could tell her." I go, "I'm pregnant," and she goes, "Oh, are you serious?" And I go,
I'm so excited.
she was so excited. She was like up here, and I went, "I'm just kidding." And so she went, boom, like a seesaw. She's like, "Oh, you're such a jerk." And I'm like, hee. And she goes, "What the heck?" And I'm like, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm so sorry. I don't know what got into
That
me."
would be so fun. Let's encourage this now. Teresa needs to have a baby.
No! No, please. We're cutting that one out.
Yeah.
What?
It's so weird.
Hey, okay, really quick.
Oh, and Sarah said not to be weird, so I try not to be.
That's why I love you. That's why everybody loves you, because you're so fun and I love your quirkiness. There's no one like you, Breckin. Welcome to Let's Talk with your host, Teresa Ann. I am so excited that you're joining me today with my special guest, Breckin. She is such a dear friend of mine. So without further ado, Breckin, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I have to show my coffee mug.
Yes.
Are you ready for this? This is so cute. So this coffee mug was made in 2003 by my daughter Tristan at daycare.
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
so glad I ordered this.
Yeah.
Isn't that so? It was her little painting.
I love those.
Isn't that so great? And it's filled with almond cream and stevia
Nice.
with some good coffee. What do you have, girly?
I don't know.
Oh, this is Pike's Roast, I think.
Okay.
Is that what it's
Is that
called?
what they had there?
Yes,
I
they
didn't know
did.
they
They
still
had
had
it. And she's got the little love mug. This one's from Tiffany Gonzalez.
Oh, I love her.
I love her too.
As I was getting ready this morning, I just thought about how amazing you are in that. No, it's true. You make friends everywhere, but they're real friends. It's more than Southern hospitality. But with you, you celebrate people. I was thinking about the body of Christ. Something the Lord's been showing me lately is we may not be that glorified part of the body.
Right.
We might be the pinky toe.
Mm.
And that's not to be frowned upon.
Right.
But you find a way of celebrating each person for who they are. And we should not bring shame to people for not being a more glorious part of the body.
That's really good.
For me, particularly, I have been blessed to get to clean the church. I love it so much. And that
You really love it.
I do. And that might sound weird.
Yeah.
But I just love getting to be there and be in the background because that's where I feel most comfortable, and that shouldn't be shamed.
That's
you
good.
know? It's a blessing.
Wow.
And so if you think about, again, the pinky toe.
Yeah.
Okay, is it vital? No, you're not going to die without it.
Right.
You will notice when it's gone.
I've never heard it said that way. Like I'm sure I've heard of it, but I've never heard someone have so much joy in that. Like sometimes I hear it as I'm working my way up, whereas you are in a place of this is where I belong.
Yeah. But it's taken years to be comfortable with that, because so many times we look at what someone else is doing. Oh, they're doing such a great thing. I wish I could do that. I wish I was, and being envious or jealous sometimes, or not feeling enough in your position. So many times as a stay-at-home mom, I've wanted to go to work and do more, or participate in things, and I would start to do that and it wouldn't work out, and each time the Lord would call me back, this is what I've called you to, raising these children, this is where I've put you. And it's being content with that. It's not a punishment. It's but finding joy in that and not feeling shame, because sometimes either we'll shame ourselves or others will bring that shame.
Right.
Like, well, why aren't you more involved in this and that? Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not supposed to be. But that is not to promote laziness.
That's right.
You know,
absolutely.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference. But you know what? That leads me to, even ask you, just as I watch your children, for instance, like right now, they're mowing the lawn, and you and your husband have done an amazing job of, you're not raising people of entitlement. You're not
trying not to.
Yeah. Like, even though they may feel that way sometimes they're entitled, you haven't taught that.
Correct.
You are teaching. When we teach, there's always going to be resistance, right?
Yeah.
It's that theme, the common thread that you've taught your kids to work hard, to work smart, not just hard.
Yeah. I would say with Luis, it is more work smart.
Yes. Yes.
Teaching them that.
Be efficient.
Yeah.
But yet be effective.
Yeah.
What do you think has helped bring such a unity within your house?
That's the question of the day. Honestly, the Lord. That's it.
That's good.
I wish I could say,
that there's a formula.
Because we do get a lot of compliments. We have amazing children.
Right.
It took a lot of hard work. And I think something we've discussed a lot recently is I compliment them quite a bit. Oh, your kids are so well behaved. If you saw the work that went into it in the younger years, teaching the obedience and we're seeing the fruit of that. And we often joke that we feel like we're in retirement, even though my youngest is 6.
It's so awesome.
But it took so much hard work. And I mean, even with the youngest, because we poured so much into the oldest ones, they're pouring into the younger ones. They're naturally training them, not because we put them in charge of them,
right?
But because
you taught them they're leaders.
Yeah, and the boys look up to them, and so whatever their older brothers are doing, they're gonna follow suit, or the older brothers will keep them in line because they don't want to be embarrassed.
That's so great. So can you share, I love the story of when you were having, there's so many different ones.
Yeah. Which one?
But when you got pregnant with your youngest, God gave you a dream.
He did, yeah.
Can you share that?
I love that dream.
Yeah, I know.
And I remind my youngest all the time. His name's Titus. So when I was pregnant with him, so I'll just start with, we have one daughter who's the oldest, she's 16, and then 5 sons that follow.
Wow.
After a while, we did try to get her a sister, and that never worked, and that is just fine. God knew what he was doing.
Yes.
And it worked out perfectly. But with the youngest, my daughter hoped for a sister finally, and right before we went into the ultrasound, about a week or 2 before, the Lord gave me a dream, and he showed me Titus. His name's Titus. It means giant. So he showed me him in a dream, and I was carrying this little infant and looking down at him and into his eyes, and if you know him, he has the most amazing, deep, sparkling eyes.
Does.
So full of life. But he showed me him and said, his name is Titus William because he has a giant will for life. And so immediately, I began sobbing. I sobbed for days, just in love with this little boy.
Before you even met him.
Oh, yeah. And I woke up, I said, if this is a girl, then we need to have another one because we need Titus. We need this little guy.
Wow.
And so I woke up and looked up the name, and that's when I found out Titus meant giant. And then William clearly means willed. So I'll say that. I was like, well, does that mean he's strong-willed? Because, that's a bummer. But he's so much more than strong-willed. But I love that the Lord gave me that, it wasn't a warning.
Right.
But he did give me that heads up because that little boy does not stop moving. He is the most strong-willed of all the children I've met. But it's so cool because every time I see that, I'm like, this is going to do great things.
Yes.
And so I remind him all the time, did you know that God named you? He gave you this name? And he's like, yes, because he loves me.
Oh,
God. He's so cute.
And I love what you had said because I remember when he was when he was growing up, when he was a baby, and then like there was such a strong-willed in him, but you embraced it, and then you were able.
That's what I mean.
Yes,
because I don't think I could have.
Yeah, because all your other boys were very
Something's
calm.
wrong with them.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Because a lot of people are afraid to have sons. They think of, oh, they're so active and they don't sit still.
They're rowdy.
Yeah, and I had all these boys that were so calm. You know, like, I don't know why. Sorry, guys. You know, they're sweet and they're calm. And then there's Titus. But had he been first in line, our whole crew would look very differently.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. He was exactly where he needed to be.
Wow. And what I really love for any parents out there who, you know, maybe you're saying, you're just so strong-willed, you're just so stubborn, you're this, you're that. You know, God gave her that so she knew how to parent him. So because of strong-willedness, obviously there are going to be things that are not good, you know, that are not. So she knew, okay, I'm not going to break his spirit in the process of teaching him, but yet still let him be wild at heart. And there is such a big difference. And so if you have a daughter or a son who's stubborn, you know, think of them as, no, they're strong-willed because they will not be moved.
I mean, even this morning, I was getting ready and I walk out, to give you an example. He randomly put on Rocky. He loves Rocky. He loves it. That theme song runs through that boy's head 24/7.
It's a warrior.
And he had a clip of it, and so I actually videotaped him because it was just cracking me up. He was watching Rocky. It's got the theme song going, and then he starts like punching and
Is he like air punching?
Yes, he does it all the
gosh.
time, everywhere we go. And randomly, he'll start playing it on the keyboard. You know,
Really?
yes, all the time.
I love
I'm
that.
like, he just lives with that theme.
Titus William. He's living up to his name. So I really want to kind of brag a little bit because Breckin goes way back to my family. My family has known Breckin since probably in the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were in middle school?
8th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's when I met Mary Kay.
Okay, so Mary Kay is my little sister. And years went by because I was gone away from home, and so I never met Breckin. But I had always heard about Breckin. Mary Kay was going to go visit Breckin in Colorado when you moved, and so your name was kind of a household name.
I love that. That's funny.
Both of my sisters just love you dearly. My parents, so they were kind of like your family as well.
Yeah.
And but I love it because how Breckin and I met is I got a phone call one day. My little sister Mary Kay called and she says, "Do you remember me talking about my friend Breckin that I've known since middle school?" And I said, "Yeah, I remember." And she said, "Well, they're actually moving to your area and I think they're really close to you." And I'm thinking, oh, okay, they can't be that close. Yeah. And lo and behold, we find out we're less than a mile away from each other. So we meet the day that I got the phone call, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's an amazing story.
Well, and I just love. I think I've shared with you, but now I get to share it actually.
Yes.
In real life.
Yes. Yes.
In the last few years, the Lord has been showing me different people He's placed throughout my life. I came from a broken marriage, great parents, but there's always things that come along with that. But the Lord placed different families in my life that made me desire a family, a strong, healthy family.
Yeah.
And your family was one of them. Obviously, there's others along the way, but in particular, I would watch how they parented, and just the peace that was in the household, was something that I admired greatly. Yeah. And it was so different, Yes. And it was so cool. And so I've wanted to share with your parents just my gratitude for taking me in, because I gotta be honest, I don't know if I would have let my kids hang out with me. I was a little bit of a hooligan. Not like bad, but I'd been like, I don't know about that one. And they still, so good, so kind, and I'm so grateful for that, because that literally changed a portion of my life. You know, having you guys in there, out there.
Even though I didn't get to be a part of it in the beginning.
No, but just the fact that for the last 7 years, almost 8 years now, you've been in our lives, and I've told you before, I love when I was pregnant with Grace. So this was 17 years ago. I remember to this day sitting at the computer getting an email, and it was from your father, because he had sent it out to everyone, and I just was so choked up at how proud he was of little Tristan being born. You know, and so I loved that. So many years later we met, and our daughters have been close, just close ever since. You know, and
that's crazy.
Isn't that cool?
I love that. My sweet dad. Oh, I love him. I love that you share that part, just because you look back on life and you have to see all of those people that God brought into our lives for every season.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it was when I was running away from God. You know, and I see people that didn't even know the Lord, that were still used by God to say, there's a better way to live.
Yeah.
You know, let me take you under my wing, and let me do this. And then there would be other people. And if we forget those things, it's almost like we forget what God did. And I love that you always call to remembrance. My parents, my family.
I can't help it. I mean,
your heart is so grateful.
Each one of them, your sisters, both sisters, and your parents. You know, and obviously you. So.
Well, you know what was so fun is when my middle sister, a few years ago, was here in Austin, and Grace got to go with Trissy, and
so much to her.
And just Trissy and Grace were just like, literally, bless their hearts. They were probably so bored. But we were shopping for home accessories. She wasn't? Okay, good.
Her mom's not like that. She loves that. She doesn't get shown those things.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool to have like that picture of all of us together at, I think it was to the Cheesecake Factory. We'd gone to the Cheesecake Factory together, and just Grace has always been, along with another friend of Tristan's, they've always been in like intricate moments of Tristan's life. Like bookmark moments, you know, cool. If that makes sense. Where, I remember that milestone when, and Grace was with us. I remember that moment, and Grace was with us. And it's so cool how even her name exemplifies that you can look back and say the grace of God was definitely evident as she was in it. You know, it's just so neat. So I really would like to ask you, because there's so many moms out there, Breckin, whether they have one child, 3, 6, 8, maybe some right now that are about to have a baby, and they're scared.
Oh yeah, we have quite a few. I love it. It's helping me reflect on, those earlier years that you're so sleep deprived that you kind of just floated through.
So what would you... I'm just going to kind of throw some stuff out there at you and see, like, how the Holy Spirit leads. Let's just say you have a mom who is pretty much got all her stuff in order, but now she's about to have a baby.
That was never me. I'm going to throw that out there. Maybe that's how I survived, though. Okay. I didn't have anything in order ever. And it just... works.
You just went with it.
Yeah, you have to have that. You don't have to. It definitely helps.
It definitely helps.
Yeah.
So, but you're always, I was talking to Teresa today about you, and I was telling her how excited I was to interview you today, and it's so great. If anyone can have a friend like Breckin, you will die a blessed woman, let me tell you. But one of the common threads of Breckin's life is that people always know she always has a smile on her face. Doesn't mean that
Unless you're my children. Seriously, they'll say, why are you frowning? Why are you angry? It's my face. It's old age children. It happens to us all.
like, let me hang it upside down.
Oh my goodness.
But, you know, there's those people out there who are just, they're so desperate. They're desperate. They're sleep deprived.
Oh, sleep deprivation is brutal. It is real. We thought I had Alzheimer's. We thought, like, seriously, I was looking into all kinds of illnesses during that time. It was bad.
Really?
It was bad. Yeah, it was.
So what would you say to someone who's going through it?
Coffee. Learn to love really strong coffee.
And Jesus. What is it?
Yeah,
A little bit of
and
coffee
Jesus.
and a whole lot of Jesus. But did you reach out to people for help?
Yeah. I mean, there were people there. My mom wasn't around. I feel like it's the easiest to reach out sometimes to your mothers. Some people don't have that ability.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that. There was different people at different times.
Yeah. That you could be vulnerable with.
Yeah, Sarah, my good friend Sarah.
Sarah Keppen.
Yes. I often tell her she's the reason we're still married. She's the reason I'm still sane. You know, no, you have to have a safe person.
Yes.
That you can call and just.
And they're not going to lead you the wrong way.
No, that's not a safe person.
Yeah.
If a person's like, oh, that sounds miserable, you should leave. That's not a safe person.
That's good.
You know, they need to point out truth while you're wallowing in exhaustion or self-pity or whatever. I don't get to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So what? It's a season.
Right.
You need to have people encouraging you. Here's how I see it a lot of times.
Okay.
We're all running a race, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so say I'm running a triathlon. I've been practicing and I'm actually at the race.
Okay.
If someone's standing on the sidelines and they say, well, geez, you look tired, you should quit. Is that someone you want there? Okay, I've worked all this time. I've been so excited. You're right. I am tired. I should quit.
Ooh,
you know,
that's so good.
You need the people saying, no, keep doing it. You can go. Like, you can do this. You've got this.
Wow.
You know, handing you water. Keep going. You've got this. Those are the people you need in your life. The other ones can be acquaintances.
Yeah.
Like, hi,
that's
sorry,
right.
Mama.
and it reminds you of what you never want to be to someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
That's so. Oh, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
That so speaks to my heart.
Yeah.
And I also believe too that as so many people are going through this, you said something just a few minutes ago. It's a season.
It is. Seasons are so. I don't think people understand the importance of seasons because they're exhausted or they're frustrated or, you know, seasons pass so quickly.
Yeah.
Sarah's mom was one of the most amazing women I've ever met. Speaking of women who've been in your life or different people. And she would tell Sarah all the time, and this too shall pass. And,
wow.
And when you live by that, you can take a deep breath and keep going.
Just keep going.
And learn to enjoy those moments. You know?
Yeah.
Don't forget to enjoy it. Don't let the enemy steal all that joy. And, you know, you have a 2-year-old, so what? Terrible twos, whatever. They're adorable.
Yeah.
You know? Stop thinking what a burden they are and start looking at how freaking
That's so
cute they
good.
are. You know?
I love that. Start seeing how cute they are. And I love what Heather Schott says. She says, it's not terrible twos. It's the terrific twos.
Yeah.
You know?
That's exactly right.
And I love that you're saying that. Like, focus on how cute they are. Focus on, like,
they're only there a minute.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're exploring.
Yeah.
Those are the exploration seasons of their life. Where they're going, what is that? And it makes noise when you put it together.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I love toddlers. Yeah. I love, you know, I used to hate, not hate. I never enjoyed 4th of July until I had children. And then and not babies, you're not going to take them out. I mean, they're not going to enjoy fireworks.
Right.
But when I started having 1, 2, 3-year-olds, it became my favorite holiday because they just seeing it through their eyes, how excited they were by everything. It changed my perspective that here's a holiday that there's no expectations of gifts or anything. There's no stress. You just get to go and enjoy and I don't know.
I like that.
Watching life through children's eyes.
Watching life. And now you are literally, you've got almost a 17-year-old. To how old is Titus?
6.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So 6 all the way to 17. so you're literally going through a season in every moment all at once in your household.
Yes.
And I love what Julie Lyle's Carr, she was one of the ladies I got to interview. She wrote Raising an Original.
Yes, yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of where you are right now in your life. As she was launching one out, she was just raising, because she has 8 kids, twins were her youngest ones. Wow. And so here she had her 2-year-olds exploring each other's diapers and decided to do a Picasso on the wall as she's sending her 18-year-old to Paris, know?
Wow.
And so I love, it's going back to that place of this too shall pass. Mm-hmm. So enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So I can just see someone right now is watching and they're like, okay, I hear you. I know what you're trying to say. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to hold my head up high. I'm trying to see this as it's just a season.
You got to start over every day, though. That's the thing, is you got to get up and start over. You're going to fail. You're going to, and then I did tell one new mom that, I'm like, you got to understand you're going to fail.
Yeah.
And I think that was maybe discouraging to her, but at the same time, you have to understand. But then the next day you get up and you do it again, and you try not to fail as much.
Right.
Each day.
Absolutely.
Each day is new. And
it reminds me of the scripture that says that his mercies are new
every day,
every morning.
Yeah.
Wow, I think that's probably, that's what's so great about you. We're memorizing a scripture right now for our life group, and it's Colossians 3:15, and it says, let the peace of Christ rule in your heart, and as one body be at peace, because that's what we're called to.
Right.
And then at the very end it says, period, always be thankful. And so in order to have peace to rule in our hearts is to have a grateful heart. And I think starting over every day, it's an opportunity to be grateful for that day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we may not get it.
That is true. That's so true. And then, another thing, I do remember a season, I had 5 kids at the time. And I was wanting to do a triathlon at that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was dumb.
Did you do it?
No.
Oh.
No. So I was working out. I'd go to the YMCA and I'd drop all my children off in the daycare, and I'm not frowning upon this, going and working out. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, but I would go there for 2 hours, and so every day it became that. And one day I was on the treadmill, and the Lord showed me, are you going to want more time on your deathbed? If we're lucky enough to have a deathbed, are you going to want more time on the treadmill, or are you going to want more time with them?
Wow.
So I stopped it, got off, went and picked them up, and really didn't care about doing a triathlon after that.
Wow.
I am not saying triathlons or races or any of this are bad. I mean,
yeah.
But
for you,
for me, understanding how valuable that season was, and to not squander it,
Yeah, that's so good.
So.
I don't think, anyone who sees it differently, they don't know your heart,
Correct. Yeah.
And I also
call me up.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, and I also believe that's why God speaks to us individually.
Yes.
Yeah. And for you, He was even preparing you for number 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who knows how long that would have been,
But that goes back to what I was saying before of, for me, not wanting to be something I wasn't, but being content with where God had me.
Yeah.
And a lot of times as mothers and stay-at-home mothers, we feel discontent, like what we're not doing enough.
Yeah.
So we try different things that are usually great things. Like but maybe God didn't call us to, and then sometimes He does call us out to do these things, but understand what He's calling you to. So
it's good.
Doing a triathlon is a great thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't my time.
Right.
That wasn't for me in that moment.
That's right.
That was me being discontent with how I looked, or, I wasn't doing anything or doing enough.
Right. You were exactly.
And
it all went back to motive.
Yeah.
Of the heart.
That's exactly right.
That's really good.
But He might call us to get up and do that because He has a purpose.
That's right.
In that. So.
Yeah, and I believe anyone watching totally knows what Breckin is saying, because there are those, I'm going to say this right now, there are those of you right now who feel like you want to do a Bible study and you want to lead a group. But right now is not the time. Right now it's a time you pour into your children and do a Bible study with them.
Yeah.
Maybe what you desire so much, do in your own household.
Yeah.
Or maybe God is calling you to do a Bible study, but that is between you and God. Yeah. But don't look in another lane and say, well, I want to be like her.
Right.
Or I want to be like that. Or, I don't really like what I look like right now, so maybe if I change this, I'll look more like her. No, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Meaning, stay fixed on Jesus. Stay fixed on him. Say, God, what is it you want from me in this season? Because later he might want you to freaking write a Bible study. You don't know. Yeah. But in these moments with your children, I look back, there's no way I could have had a talk show when Tristan was little. I desired it so long ago. Yeah. I remember in 2009 when the opportunity came and it just nothing was falling into place. Yeah. Didn't mean it wasn't going to happen later.
Right. And it didn't mean it was a bad thing to desire. It was a wonderful thing.
Exactly. And now I'm living in it now.
Yeah.
To some people on a very small level, but like I said in one of the episodes, a few episodes ago, this isn't small to me. Right. This is huge.
Yeah.
And the reason is because I'm not comparing myself to anybody else. When I start comparing myself to someone else is when it becomes small.
Yeah.
And I do not want the God dream in me to be small.
Absolutely.
And so what I love about you, Breckin, is whenever I talk to you on the phone, or whenever I'm in your presence, or whenever we're just like even right now, the grace of God that's on your life, the contentment that you have. No, I'm not saying you don't have your struggles and you don't have your moments. Of course, we all do. But overall, you give your best.
Can I share this story?
Please.
Speaking of, let me tell you what happens when I try to be bitter or discontent. I love God so much. I had a rough week. Luis happened to be out of town, and I just was bitter and angry. I'm just mad. So stupid. I was like, and I hate that mentality. I hate that attitude.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Lord, just take me out. I don't want to live a bitter person. I don't know what's wrong with me. No joke.
Oh my gosh.
I get up too fast and black out. It happens all the time. I'm a redhead. It's happened since I was a kid. Whatever. And I fall and knock myself out. And now I have this lovely wound on my chin. But I love it so much because it's twofold. Here's why. For years, like when Luis and I first got married, I attempted a home birth. Well, I had a home birth.
Oh.
And Silas was a home birth.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I like the idea of home births. But not all husbands are cut out for playing nurse. And we all have our gifts, and he was not gifted in nursing. And we've talked about this multiple times, and I've joked about it,
Oh my gosh.
And so I've had a hospital birth ever since. I love nurses. They're so wonderful.
Yes. You're like, don't reject the nurse if you can have one.
Correct. And so when I fell the other day, he was amazing. I've never seen him so tender. I have, but it was just, so every time I see this, I'm just going to remember who he is and not who he's not.
Right.
He was so amazing, and he helped fix it up and has been helping ever since. And even last night he said, you know what, I love that because when I fell, he had come into the room and I was knocked out on the floor and there was blood underneath, and it was just so sweet. He said a couple days later how hard it was for him to walk in and see me like that. And
wow.
Yeah. And so then last night he said, it just makes me appreciate you so much more,
Ah.
So instead of being like, oh my gosh, my face is messed up,
Yeah.
it's been like this lovely reminder for the both
Oh.
of us of how blessed we are.
Wow.
Isn't that silly?
No,
So weird.
it gets going back to that scripture,
Yeah.
always be thankful.
Yeah, it's
You
so
know?
funny. So when you tell people like, oh no, it's a really good thing.
Yes.
So glad I got knocked out.
His love knocked me out.
It
love
It
just
did.
it's
It was
so overwhelming that he knocked me out.
It was great. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I love
I know
you.
it sounds dumb.
See what
but
I mean? See her perspective? It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
It's not always like that, but
It is a lot, though. It is a lot, I will say.
well, when it was, and I got knocked out.
Yes. But you know what is so cool is just even in that for moms, especially I'm going to go back to moms.
Yeah.
You know, there's
am
going to
one.
be moments where you're going to look at your kids and you're going to be like, why do I have to do this? I have dreams. I have aspirations. I want to do this. And you sometimes might even see your kids as in the way. But when you have that moment where you get knocked out by the love of God,
Yeah.
right? You start to
Seriously.
see everything differently.
Yeah.
Everything. Isn't that
Yeah.
it's so powerful. I love that reminder, Breckin.
Well, and it was funny because that week when I was talking to the Lord about it, I was like, I'm sorry I'm like this, but I'm just so angry at stupid things right now. I said, change my perspective.
Yeah.
And literally in seconds, he changed my perspective. So,
I love that. That's so good.
I mean, the Bible talks about loving discipline, not hating
Yeah.
discipline.
That's good.
I love it.
Yes. And he corrects those he loves.
Yeah. I guess he loves me.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I have a little gift for you. It's a little
gosh.
Magnolia coffee
I
mug
love it.
filled
I love
with chocolate.
it. This is what mothers need.
Yes.
Coffee and
chocolate.
Sugar, actually.
Yes.
Any form of sugar.
After their sweet
Yeah.
kisses. Thank you again for
Yeah.
joining me today.
I love you.
And thank you all for joining us. And I hope that you felt like you were part of our conversation. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free
Oh, yeah.
to, comment below on our channel. And please make sure you subscribe and share. Let's get the word out.
And don't be mean. If it's
Yes.
mean, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for joining us today on Let's Talk with your host, Teresa Ann.